All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Turf Talks by Race Mirror. We move on to the Premier Center, which is RWITC, which is hosting the Betway Indian 2000 Guineas on Sunday. And I've been joined by a person who needs no introduction. He is known as one of India's fastest horses that grace the track to be owner of that horse, Oasis Star. With that, I'd like to welcome Mr. Tariq. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on board with us to have a discussion. And like I mentioned, a lot of people do remember you leading in Oasis Star, who was a wonderful, wonderful horse for you. Tell us about that experience.
Oh, long time ago, but great memories. You used to just want to come and watch her race because she had so much class and never disappointed. So I just wish I get another horse like that once more in my life. But she was special. She was a really lovely filly.
Well,
Lots of good
absolutely.
memories.
Well, absolutely. I still remember the race that Mr. Deepak Rajpal called, and he he evidently I still that still rings a bell in my ear when he said Oasis Star moving like a flaming Lamborghini, and that still gets jitters to me.
Yeah, yeah. It is this was all. Srinath used to pocket her in, always get her, blocked, punched, and then she used to just find the gap and display an amazing turn of foot. I think I don't know, recall whether it was the first SC Jain or her second SC Jain, where I think it was a 17 horse field, and she had been shunted out, right at the start. And I think the commentator has mentioned her name only twice in the entire race. Once at the start because she was shunted out, and then once right at the end, where she had absolutely no hope with 400 meters to go, and then she still came in and won. So great memories, great memories.
Absolutely. So, an important question. OSS Star won two sprinters, multifaceted won two sprinters, Rufina won two sprinters. If those three go head to head in today's race, who do you think would emerge victorious?
So, I mean, it's not an easy question to answer because all three great horses. Rufina also was just brilliant the way she used to win her races. Multifaceted, as you can, he's still showing how good he is, and I don't know how old he is now. 7 years old. So very tough, and I'm obviously going to be biased. So I'm probably not the right person to ask this question, but you know, all fantastic horses that have added color to Indian racing over the last few years, and that's exactly what we want, right? We want to see champions like Oasis Star, Rufina, Multifaceted come forward. Zuccarelli today, I mean, look at how he's winning his races. It's goosebumps. It gives you goosebumps seeing a horse like that.
Absolutely.
Juliet last year. You need champions like this on the turf.
Absolutely.
Literally every year. You don't want to wait 3 or 4 years for another champion to come.
Absolutely. And I think those are the Ronaldos and Messis for us in racing.
Absolutely. Exactly. Exactly.
And an important thing that we've seen that post pandemic, we see there is a lot of syndication that is coming along to own horses, and it is a great way to promote the sport. Your thoughts on that?
I entirely believe in that. So if you don't own a horse 100%, there's no difference between owning 50% and 10% of the horse. This, the fun and the feeling and and actually the friendships that you develop. We had a really nice horse 3 or 4 years ago called Who Makes the Rules, who just took us, it was a syndicate horse, who
Absolutely.
just took us to amazing heights across the country. So
Correct.
whether it was Bangalore, Hyderabad, and especially Calcutta, where he, won the Derby, the Guineas, the Super Mile in Calcutta,
Correct.
and the Indian Champions Cup. So
Correct.
3 or 4 Group Ones. He just took us to amazing heights. At that time. So even if I'd owned 50% or whether I'd owned 10%, I had the same sort of highs. I would have had exactly the same sort of highs. Whether I own 10 or 20 or 50%. So I think syndicates are
Absolutely.
the way forward. In fact, I think it should be, even more. So fractional ownership should go into 5% or even 1% shares now to encourage more people to come to the sport, into the
True,
sport.
true, true. And I think it gives a lot of encouragement to young entrepreneurs from the startup industry or from any of these to actually take a liking to the sport.
Exactly, exactly. So it's not a a cheap pastime. We all know it's a very expensive hobby to have. And if you can lessen that burden and bring down the percentage share, I know it's an administrative issue with the club and all of that. But today, it's very easy to handle, 20 owners or 50 owners to a horse.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for all that insight. And with that, we'll move on to the big one, which is the Betway Indian 2000 Guineas to be run on Sunday. Eight horses
Yeah.
go to post. I think number one ahead of my time being ridden by A Sandesh. Then we've got number two, Coup de Leon, ridden by Neeraj Rabal. Then we've got Fortunate Son, ridden by PP Debe. Mojito, partnered with NS Parmar. Phenom is ridden by T.A. Nayak. Ravishing Form in partnership with Suraj Naredu. Son of a Gun is written by C.S. Joda and Supernatural, written by P. Trevor. Your thoughts on this one?
So a very intriguing race. When you look at the card, Supernatural just stands out and comes out in as a face as a likely winner. It's a combination, a mix of horses from Usha and from the Poonala stud farm, the two biggest farms. So they're, well represented in this race. Um, quite a few of these horses have run against each other quite often. So, Supernatural stands out. I just feel, does he have the toe or the turn of foot over a mile? He's definitely the classiest horse in the race once you go longer.
Correct.
Uh, the other thing I must add, disappointing that King's Ransom and Once You Go Black aren't in the race. I think Once You Go Black has developed a mild fever or something, and King's
Correct.
Ransom. I think smartly King's Ransom has been put away for the Oaks instead of clashing with their own horse Supernatural.
Correct.
But it's an intriguing race because of how it's going to be run, right? So there are going to be likely front runners, probably Fortunate Son making the pace, Coup de Leon and Son of a Gun going to be right up there, making it a very fast pace. I think Ravishing Form is going to be in the slipstream. Ravishing Form has all the credentials to win a race such as this, has got the beating of Once You Go Black,
Correct.
who all but won the Coles trial in Bangalore and, has gone on to win a classic in Mysore.
Correct.
So to that extent, Ravishing Form definitely has the credentials to win a race such as this. Mojito, if you just put a cross against its last run where it ran at a very short price,
Correct.
and if we just disregard that run, Mojito actually has the best turn of foot in the race, right? So you would
Absolutely.
have to consider Mojito as well. If you just eliminate that last run, and Uh, ahead of my time, could that be the Joker in the bag? Everyone thinks because of Rufina and Koff Castle,
Correct.
that's what the pedigree won't get a mile. But I think
Correct.
the way they've ridden ahead of my time the last time, settled him and, come from albeit in a 6 furlong, maybe he will get a mile. Who knows, right? Who knows? So it is more open than we think it is. It's not a one horse race.
Well,
Excuse me.
that seems to be very interesting for all our viewers to watch out for because clearly there are no picks in this one that stand out. And if the likes of Once You Go Black and King's Ransom would have been in the mix, then it could have been a tough race to even call for saying that okay, this one's better than that. But absolutely, like you rightly pointed out, that all of them are going in with that chance of emerging victorious. But the tough question I might ask you, if you had to root for one, which would that be?
So on the page, obviously on the form, on the hype surrounding Supernatural all through last year, and his Bangalore Derby win, which was sensational, would you'd have to go with Supernatural, but he is going to be at a very very short price. There's going to be in my mind, what's he going to run at? 90 paisa, even money, something like that. I don't even know, but I would assume he'd be in that sort of range. Is there value in that? Probably not. So there, if you do want to, I would assume the second favorite breed, Ravishing Form, sorry, is there value there? Definitely, he's run against good horses. He's got Suraj in the saddle now, so and I think he's going to be stalking the front runners and taking off at the 400. I would assume Mojito and Supernatural will be at the tail end of the field, coming with their runs late, which is the way they've won their races in the past. Would it be all too quick for Supernatural? Would the others, Mojito and Ravishing Form, have a little bit more toe? Who knows? So uh, I don't know. At the prices, I'd probably look at a longer price horse in this case.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your views and thank you so much for joining us. And I think we'll be back with more action for the Indian Oaks that follows up after the 2000 Guineas. Thank you so much for being part of this discussion, and we hope to catch you soon again.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me. Thanks.
Thank you so much, guys, and do not forget to subscribe to our channels capture more of Indian racing coming your way. Hope you had taken out your notebooks to take a note of all of this, and we'll see you soon past the post. Thank you.